Hey everyone, so today we've got a fun project to dive into. I picked up this Iseki mini tractor about a year ago, and I've had it running on and off a couple times, but never really had it just running strong, and so I really wanted to just dive into it, go over the whole thing, see if I can just get it running and reliable. It's really an interesting tractor. For those of you that don't know the Iseki brand, it's made in Japan, and this has a diesel engine in it. It's a 1-liter 2-cylinder with around 15.8 horsepower. I mean, it's a good little diesel tractor, and when I've had it running, it's got a fun little sound to it as well. And so just kind of going through it, you'll see me kind of pointing out certain things about it. Here's a cool shot of some of the Japanese writing on it with the model TS1610. But there's a lot of cool little features to this tractor. And it's got the 3-point hitch, it's got a PTO system in the back, but overall it's pretty simple in and out. So hopefully going through this we'll be able to just get it all cleaned up and started with no problems. When I did get it, it didn't come with a hood, so I just wanted to protect it from the elements, especially living in Arizona. That sun can really start rotting things and causing issues, so I just built a wooden board to go over the top of it. So what I want to do to start is just go over all the fluids, check all the levels, and depending on what I'm seeing, I may just go ahead and just change all the fluids out and just give it a fresh start when it comes to all that. So oil seemed good, just kind of checking the texture of the oil on that cap right there, making sure there was no milky residue or anything that would point to signs of maybe an engine issue. Trying to check inside the coolant reservoir here, but it seems to be stuck to the radiator, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way of prying that off later on. Coming down to the fuel filter, I think this is maybe something that was put on after. I don't know if it's necessarily coming with the tractor. The old gentleman I bought it from mentioned that he had put that on there, and we'll have to play with that and see if that gives us any trouble. But just going through all the levers, making sure nothing's sticking, and just overall quick inspection before I dive into anything too deep. Here's the oil dipstick here. Check that, see if we're at fuel, oil level. Seems good. Oil definitely looks a little dirty. This is for the radiator, the coolant. See if there's anything in there. It looks good. Okay, here's the transmission fluid. Pop this cap off and see what we got inside there. I'm not sure if this is where I'm supposed to check it. This is something else that I've run into, is with this being a Japanese tractor, just going online and doing searches, there's not a lot of information out there for it. I was lucky enough to track down a translated version of the user's manual. It's a pretty poor translation, but it's definitely helpful in pointing out where certain things are that I'm looking for. This is just me testing to make sure that everything spins over, that it's not jammed up or seized in any way. It's a little stiff, but it's spinning for me. Looks like there's a little diesel fuel in there. I'm not sure if it's bad or not. We'll probably have to put some in there to get some fresh diesel in there. And this is where I found out that it's pretty clear, it says oil level, right? But this is the transmission fluid. That's the drain plug for it. So I opened it up, and the fluid that was in there, it was honestly pretty watery. Didn't really have that texture of oil that I was hoping. So I ended up just draining the whole thing, and had a bucket of this transmission / hydraulic fluid laying around. So I just wanted to get it all changed out and topped back off. After doing this, I just decided, you know, why not? Let's just do all of it. We'll do all the fluids. So this is the hydraulic fill in the back. It was seized up on there, so just put some PB Blast on there. Hopefully loosen that cap up a little bit. So it looks like there's fluid in there. Looked like it was at level, if not a little below, so I'm going to go ahead and just put some in to top it off. Screw that back on there. So here's the oil pan and the drain plug right here. Gonna get this emptied out. When I pulled out that dipstick, the oil was pretty dark, so we'll just get all this drained out, get some fresh oil in there. So as you can see in this bucket, this oil is pretty spent, so putting some fresh oil in there I think is going to go a long way. Alright, so I had this battery charging overnight and plugging into the tractor here. See if we can get this all wired up, get any power to the tractor, and see if we can get it started up. So for those of you that have noticed, I've been pretty sweaty throughout this video, and just a quick idea as to why. It's about 110 out and the humidity is around 50%, so it's pretty miserable out working on this tractor. And those of you that have been in the Arizona heat, you can almost burn yourself trying to pick up one of your tools that have been sitting in the sun. So that presents its own challenges. Not too long after I decided to set up a canopy to keep myself in the shade, there were reports of a monsoon storm coming in, and had to tear that down pretty quick, so that was shortly lived, working in the shade. Anyways, I got the battery all plugged back in, all the fluids changed. Now I'm going to get this Gannon out of the way and see if I can't get the tractor started and moving around. Okay, let's see if she'll start up for us on the first try. Alright, not much luck there. Give it another shot. Alright. Sounded good. Let's see if we can put her in drive and get her back out of this corner. Okay, I was able to get it going, you saw. I was able to put it in reverse and back it out, turn it around. And I started driving it and it stalled out on me. So, trying to start it there wouldn't go, and from what it was sounding like, it wasn't getting any fuel. So I started checking the fuel filter, see if the line was plugged. Unplugged it, there's fuel in there, but no fuel's coming out of the line. So I'm not sure if the line is plugged. Learned this old trick, just putting a rag over the top of it and blowing some air through there to see if any debris got clogged up in there. Was able to hear, you know, air blowing through into the tank. So maybe there was something stuck in there. Get it plugged back in and try and start it again. No luck. Well, you know, I was driving it up a hill and, you know, the fuel tank was kind of low on fuel. I'm wondering if maybe some sediment got pumped through the fuel line and maybe clogged up one of the injectors. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to dig into this, and we're gonna have to make it a part 2 video. We were able to get it started driving, which is great, but now she's not wanting to start for us. So we're kind of in the same spot as we were at the beginning, but we're gonna dive back into this in another video, probably clean the injectors and see if we can get it running. Those of you that might be interested, I'd like to hear if you want to see me maybe restore this tractor, not necessarily to new, but give it its original paint job with the color blue, and maybe restore the 3-point hitch and just kind of go over it and make it look clean. So those of you that would be interested in that, let me know in the comments below. That'll let me know that that's some content that you guys would be interested in seeing. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. Please help me out by liking and subscribing to my channel, and we'll see you on my next video.